Okay, kids, welcome back to week number 2. Mr. Starkey and I did this earlier today, but we had a glitch, so we're starting all over again. So anyway, welcome back to all you guys. You did a great job in answering my questions last week. Wes, you were spot on in answering my trick question. You were the first one. The rest of you, Paisley and Presley and Noah and Janelle, did a super job. And Noah, yes, you're right. You can talk to God anytime, not just 3 times a day. So good job there. We also had some guests last week, Zach and Zoe up around Winnemac, and Reagan and Kennedy from Michigan. And Reagan, super job of answering my questions, and Reagan did a great job with the music and singing. I know that because her Nana sent me a video showing that all to me, so you guys did a super job. And I hope that you paid attention to last week's lesson and did something to show Mom and Dad that you love them by helping around the house, okay? We're going to sing a couple songs. Actually, we're going to sing, Mr. Starkey wanted to sing Raiden's favorite song, so we're going to sing a couple songs. But I have to stand up to do this, so kids, on your feet. We're going to start with Only a Boy Named David, okay? Only a boy named David, only a little sling. Only a boy named David, but he could pray and sing. Only a boy named David, only a rippling brook. Only a boy named David, but 5 little stones he took. And 1 little stone went into the sling, and the sling went round and round. And 1 little stone went into the sling, and the sling went round and round, and round and round and round and round and round and round and round. And 1 little stone went up in the air, and the giant came tumbling down. Okay, if we were in my class right now, I'd be telling you kids, get up off the floor and back in your seats. But I need you to stand up again because we're going to do now My God is So Big. My God is so big, so strong and so mighty, there's nothing my God cannot do. My God is so big, so strong and so mighty, there's nothing my God cannot do. The mountains are His, the valleys are His, the stars are His handiwork too. My God is so big, so strong and so mighty, there's nothing my God cannot do. My God is so great, so strong and so mighty, there's nothing my God cannot do. My God is so great, so strong and so mighty, there's nothing my God cannot do. He made the trees, He made the seas, He made the elephants too. My God is so great, so strong and so mighty, there's nothing my God cannot do. Okay, back in your seats, guys. Okay, our lesson today is called A Cracked Windshield. Jeff Matthews heaved a huge sigh as he stomped out of the living room and stormed up the stairs to his bedroom. It just isn't fair, he said to himself angrily. They always treat me like a baby. Why don't they ever give me a chance to show what I can do? And he purposely slammed the door to his room really loud so it could be heard downstairs. His father's words were still ringing in his ears. No, Jeff, you may not trade your bicycle for a gun. You're only 12 years old and not mature enough to go hunting by yourself. Jeff's devotions that night just seemed like a waste of time to him. And although he would never say it out loud, he really felt in his heart that God was being unfair in letting his father shatter his dreams. Mumbling a little bit of a prayer, he crawled into bed. Bud, his best friend, was standing in the schoolyard the next morning as Jeff swung his bicycle around the corner and skidded to a stop. Well, he shouted, are you still game for the trade? Red-headed Jeff shuddered. Oh, my folks think I am still a baby, so they have to keep dangerous toys out of my reach. Bud laughed. Oh, don't let your folks get you down. You can't be a mama's boy all your life. Look, I'll make you a deal. You can use my .22 if you let me use your bike when I need it. You really won't be disobeying your folks either, because the bike will still be yours, okay? Jeff thought for a minute. This was a new angle. Actually, it wasn't such a bad idea, come to think of it. And this way he could use both the gun and the bicycle. Well, said Bud. All right, we'll try it, Jeff replied as he wheeled his bike into the stand. That's the stuff, his curly-haired friend laughed, slapping him on the back. I knew you had it in you. After his last class, Jeff ran down the school steps and headed for the bike stand. And suddenly he stopped and looked. There beside the schoolyard gate was Bud, sitting on his bicycle. I guess I'll take it tonight, Bud said, throwing a slow wink at Jeff. The gun's in the garage whenever you want it. Jeff gulped and mumbled, okay. Slowly he sauntered out of the schoolyard. Try as he might, he could not drive from his mind the Bible verse that he had read that morning. Children, obey your parents in all things, for this is well-pleasing unto the Lord. And we find that in Colossians chapter 3 and verse 20. Children, obey your parents in all things. Children, obey. But I am, he said to himself, Dad told me not to trade my bike, and I didn't. Almost before he realized it, Jeff found himself turning into the Martins' yard. The garage was dark. But in a moment he found the rifle standing in the corner. Dropping a handful of cartridges into his pocket, he stopped outside. What I wouldn't give, he thought, as he proudly shouldered the weapon and started down the dirt lane that ran behind the garage. As he started up the long hill outside town, his eyes swept across the field, looking for some signs of life. And then he caught his breath. There, perched atop a fence post close to the top of the hill, was a large bird. It must be a crow, he thought as he crept forward, his hands trembling. Getting his gun ready, he took careful aim, held his breath, and squeezed the trigger. Then Jeff watched the big black bird spread his wings and fly over the hill. Missed, he said disgustedly. Boy, what a great shot I am. That night at supper, Jeff stared silently at his plate. Why so quiet, son? His dad asked, smiling at the boy. Aw, nothing. I guess I was just thinking. Somehow, though, the novice hunter couldn't meet his father's gaze. After finishing his dessert, his dad pushed back his chair and rested his hands on the table. Remember that little talk we had last night, Jeff? His face was very serious now. I want to show you why I didn't let you have that gun. Puzzled, Jeff followed his dad out to the car parked in the driveway. You see this? His dad pointed to the windshield. A web of cracks surrounded a small hole in the middle of the glass. What happened, Dad? I was coming into town on the highway and someone was shooting over the hill. That bullet missed me by just a few inches. Someone had no more sense than to shoot over a hill. What's the matter, son? By now, tears are running down Jeff's cheeks. Oh, Dad, he sobbed. I did it. I did it. And in between sobs, he poured out the whole story, finishing with, I'll take any punishment you give me, Dad. There was a long silence. Well, son, his dad said quietly, it's only right that you help pay for this windshield. And I'm sure you learned a very important lesson that will stay with you for a very long time. I'm just glad that you decided to tell me the truth. And Dad gave Jeff a big hug as they walked back into the house. You know, it's wonderful that Dad was able to forgive Jeff for what he'd done when Jeff told Dad what had happened. But you know, it's even more wonderful if you've asked Jesus to come into your heart and He's your Heavenly Father. It is so wonderful that we can go to Him anytime when we've done things and ask Him to forgive us, and He is always, always, always willing to forgive us. It's a wonderful thing for you guys to remember. Okay, time for questions, kids. The first question, question number 1, What Bible verse kept running through Jeff's head as he was thinking about what he should or shouldn't be doing, okay? What Bible verse did he keep remembering? Question number 2. Who walked with God and was not, because God took them on to heaven? In fact, the Bible tells us that this man was not, for God took him. And I'm going to give you a little help here because some of the younger ones may not remember these lessons. It's been about 3 years since we've been studying the book of Genesis. So you'll find this answer in Genesis chapter 5 and verse 24. Question number 3, and this is a two-parter. Who was the oldest man that ever lived? And how many years did he live? And you'll find this in Genesis. If you don't know it, look, you can look it up. Genesis chapter 5 and verse 27. Question number 4. And I can't tell you where this is found because it would give away the answer. And I'm not going to do that. Who spent 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of a whale? Who spent 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of a whale? So you guys get your answers together and have Mom and Dad either text me or send me a Facebook message or answer it on the Facebook where this video will be. And then we will talk to you next week. And remember, those that get all the right answers, we're going to have some prizes when we get back together. In fact, we're probably going to have a nice party when we get back together because we're going to be so glad to see one another again. And I also want to let you know that this Sunday, Mr. Starkey is going to be putting out a video for you kids to watch maybe about 9 o'clock in the morning, something I think that you will really enjoy and like. So be watching for it, okay? Love you guys. Talk to you later.